Okay, so apparently he debated Counterpoints, so I don't know how long the debate is. I haven't watched it yet. We'll see.
He's like of a
Anyways, Adnan Khashoggi is an arms dealer. He deals in the Middle East and North Africa. He's a part of the Iran-Contra affair, where Reagan and Oliver North take
Couple of hours? No way. I refuse to believe
weapons.
it.
They sanction bust. They sell weapons. They travel to Israel because you can't fly directly to Iran. Jeffrey Epstein facilitates this with Adnan Khashoggi, and they sell the weapons to Iran. They take the cash, they put it in a black ops slush fund that then runs guns and drugs in Central and South America for counter communist operations in Central and South America.
Okay.
Then Jeffrey Epstein, well, that's actually really important, but I want to add something else about Adnan Khashoggi. He also facilitated deals, and there's a picture of him facilitating arms deals in West and South Africa as well, via something called the Safari Club, which was a financial and arms trafficking export group that Adnan Khashoggi.
I wish Destiny made new content. He's a funny dude when he talks about other things. Well, the Destiny of today is a very politics involved. I think he's moved beyond just simply being a content creator, and he wants to move into the sphere of being a political influencer. He wants to basically walk down the same path as somebody like Adam Mockler, I think. But yeah,
was a part of.
Okay.
So then Jeffrey Epstein takes the fleet of vehicles that was under a CIA front. I think it was called like Southern Air Transport. They were the ones who were flying guns down to the Contras during the Iran-Contra affair.
Wait, can I ask a quick question about that? It's kind of a...
Yep.
Did anybody ever get in trouble for the Iran-Contra? It seemed like some bad stuff, but I feel like nobody... Did they?
So Oliver North, I think Oliver North got pardoned, but there were hearings in Congress for like 6 months because the entire operation was like black ops illegal shit that the Reagan administration did in
we all know how we feel about the color black. Am I right, guys?
explicit violation of a congressional prohibition.
Yeah, okay. I just seemed weird because I feel like I don't remember like a lot of negative shit from that. But okay,
R15.
based. All right,
what?
Go ahead.
Well, basically, like the Republicans argued that Oliver North was an American patriot because.
Okay, if it's too long, I'm just gonna skip this.
An insurrection clause to have a due process and then follow said due process, and those are the ones that I liked. He also recommended packing the courts, but I didn't like. So out of the recommendations, and he actually said that this is like a legislative priority, like win in 26, get a Democratic president in 28, and these safeguard legislations are the priority before anything else. We must secure the republic before we do anything else. And I'm okay both with the prescriptions and with the immediacy with which he wants to execute them. My question to you is, what is missing from this list of reforms, and how are you going to?
Well, the problem is the reforms itself, right? Because you're trying to make reforms in the first place when reforms do not work against a president that feels like he is free to break laws, right? That is why the reform argument, according to Stephen, okay, I'm just trying to represent Stephen's argument, okay? This is why, like, according to Stephen, this stuff does not work because what are past laws and legislation to a president that ignores the Congress, right? It's a mob to a king. What's a king to a god? It's a god to a non-believer who doesn't believe in anything. Okay,
Execute.
stop.
Nobody seems to understand this point of like this is a conservative brain. Oh, but you're like a conservative. Oh, you're not a MAGA conservative. I need MAGA friends here to explain this concept, okay? You guys, when you
I mean, does he have MAGA friends?
talk about this, you always talk about like working within the framework of the system with the best faith adherence to the Constitution. What are the things that we should do in the future to repair our republic? And
never.
I don't know how to make your brain work the MAGA way. For MAGA, they go, this is the outcome we want, and how do we get there? This is the meaning of the term, Pisco and your lawyer friends will use all the time, pretextual, right? Is that if I know the outcome I want, I can make any legal reason to get there. And grammatically, at the very least, it'll fit, right? Now, in the best faith.
Right, yeah, exactly. And that's why you don't need to have some kind of like special insight into the legal process or law, right? You're making a moral argument in the first place. This is why whenever Hutch or Pisco comments about, oh, well, what is the statute? What is the law? What is the legal avenue to do this, right? An inability to answer that question does not necessitate an inability to answer the moral question, right?
Or it really, application of law in terms of good faith.
Just because you don't know the legal process or the legal argument behind enacting what you want does not mean that you can't make a moral argument for it, right? These two things are different, which is why when they fall back on something like that, to me, at the very least, that is Maude and Bailey, right? When you're pushing forward, okay? When I'm pushing forward, we are talking about the morality of things, right? I'm talking about the morality of things. But then let's just say that you have been debated into a corner, okay? And you know that there is no good excuse for anything, right? Like inside of yourself. Well, then you fall back to the mot, right? The mot is, oh, we were talking about a legal argument this entire time, right? Counterpoints actually does this a lot, the Mott and Bailey, but with legal and ethical like shit. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I've emphasized this as well about Alex Preddy and Renee Good, that you should not let them bait you into a legal argument. You should stay on the ground of an ethical argument.
Maybe not, but like we can get there somehow.
Is this how we got the unitive executive theory going on?
Yeah, exactly. Yes, which I'm pretty sure comes literally from a single fucking sentence in the Constitution, which is retard interpretation. But if you want to get
there, behind the stream, but when you were looking for the term thesis. Oh yeah, 95 thesis. Yes, that's the correct term. Sorry, I had it on the tip of my tongue, but I don't remember. It's stuff like I learned in high school.
Getting there is easy. I just need people to want to get there, and then when we get there, or like if they want to get there, then we can figure out how we want to do it. But it's the matter of like you have to figure out first if you want to get there. But then if you want to get there, then it's a matter of convincing the American public to want to get there, because I don't think the American public wants to get there either. But this idea that like, well, we need a particular plan or thing to do, and it's like maybe I guess, but I don't know if we would have the appetite for literally anything adventurous. Like even when it comes to like abolishing the filibuster, which is like a procedural thing that would clearly be like a thing that wouldn't be bad faith to the law or whatever. Like people aren't even on board with that. So.
Right, but I think that I kind of am, because I think the immediacy with which the reforms that are needed in order to safeguard the republic are so important that nuking the filibuster in order to do so would be necessary. But not talking about me specifically. So the outcome that I think is often assigned to you is you want to punish MAGA such that the Trump cult and the MAGA sycophants and enablers know that they cannot do the kind of shit that they've done for the past decade without consequence. That seems like the outcome that you're pushing for. Am I wrong?
Kind of, yeah, but not really without consequence. I just don't want them to ever do it again because the consequences are so dire, right? So I'm trying to punish political behavior in a way that I would ordinarily never want to punish political behavior, which seems to require a little bit of stepping outside of the system that I would idealize.
Yeah, we haven't gotten there yet, but I guess that's literally the next question. The next question is, what
history nerd?
Well, I guess what are the punishments? So for instance, you know what?
I have a list actually. A guy emailed me, and I think that these are all based. Okay, ready?
Okay, I'm ready to write them down. Go ahead.
Okay, he said, if I were elected president in 2028, just off the top of my head, I would try. 1. FBI seizes X.com domain, raids all of Musk's businesses and residences. His communications with Putin probably violates
Based.
TAR and FARA. Don't really care if I can prove it. While we're at it, let me get a golden share for 100% of SpaceX. Number 2, immediately freeze accounts of everyone related to the Trumps and Witkoffs, anyone with a hint of the crypto shit on them. Number 3.
Get ready for what?
3. Deploy the IMEF to El Salvador, depose Bukele or whatever. Presidents can just do that, right? Seize all documentation about individuals held at CCOT, etc. Fuck it, let's have the Marines knock some doors in the Cayman Islands too. While we're at it, Ireland owes you some tax proceeds from our largest corporations. Fuck those guys too. Number 4, send U.S. Marshals to every pardoned January 6ther. Our position being that mass pardons aren't effective. We can just grab them, put them back in jail. No need to tell anybody. Maybe we won't even have timely responses to court orders. Randomly move them around a bit. That's cool now, right? Better yet, let's deputize some trigger-happy new ICE hires to make those arrests. 2 birds with 1 stone, right?
Holy crap. Let's fucking go, okay? This needs to happen, all right? Fuck me, dude. give the fucking January 6th pardon people the fucking ICE detainee treatment, okay? Hella base.
Next one. Arresting random people. Fuck it. There are thousands of pending habeas petitions for illegally arrested Americans, residents, and aliens currently held by ICE and CBP. Usually, my standard for prosecution is if I, the prosecutor, believe they are guilty and I'm essentially positive I can secure a conviction, the litmus test for the new DOJ hires should instead be about 1% confidence in each element. The process is punishment enough. Next one. We can establish deterrence elsewhere too. I am extremely pro.
Oh my god. Hell yeah.
Israel, but BBC.
Dude, Hutch is getting an aneurysm just listening to this.
Decided that he's a Republican. I'll address the Knesset and let them know this is the last time any American official ever speaks to any Israeli official until every party in their entire ruling coalition is in the minority and all of their leaders are private citizens. Also, fuck it, move a carrier into the Black Sea and one into the Baltic. No fly zone.
Dude, it just fixes every issue. Easy peasy, all right? You just need the political willpower to do so.
Ukraine. All Russian men and material have 7 days to remove themselves from our 92 borders, or I can do it for you. War's over. Thanks for playing. Next one is... oh no, would this be unpopular? Will we lose the midterms? Who cares? Motherfucker, I'm the president for 4 years. Next is
There's a YouTuber named Scratch debated a MAGA? A MAGA? About the Destiny Rose thing? Okay. Can you tag me in content suggestions and send that to me? Thank you.
do worse. I can say, let's have an ICE training with all personnel in D.C., and then we can divert the planes to Guantanamo. Phones in the bags, boys. I can invite Pam Bondi to the Oval Office and video games with a hammer. I'm the president of the United States. What are you going to do? Pass a law? Good. Get a Supreme Court ruling against me? Good. What's the remedy for my abuses? Impeachment. Oh, but wait. In order for you to vote for impeachment, you need to show up at the Capitol in the District of Columbia, where federal law applies, where all of my new ICE agents are trained and deployed.
This person was like Teravangian during that one day of clarity in which they have acquired all of this like epic knowledge or some shit, and they're trying to go back and get that kind of knowledge again. All right. It's like you're like the one day that you had this moment of clarity and your brain cells are like firing at 50 miles per hour. You're like, okay, I got to write this down. And then you send it as an email to Stephen.
Sure, would be a shame if I pardoned somebody who happened to video game a congressman, huh? One weird trick. Don't like that threat? How about you pass a constitutional amendment eliminating the pardon and closing a couple more loopholes? Deal? The Democratic nominee is...
We all agree that Biden should have issued death threats, right? Okay.
Anything short of Lucius Cornelius Sulla. Our republic is over. I'd give it a 50-50, even if we do go hard. Fuck the populares, restore the republic. Sulla/Sherman.
That's the most like Fed posting black
so we need
bullshit
one good
I've ever
man.
heard in my entire fucking...
Yeah, of course you would say that, Connor. Okay, all right. Fucking Fed.
Who's willing to do what it takes?
Window? Is this an Overton window shifting argument? Is this a the guardrails will hold argument, or is this a real argument?
Well, the funny thing is like you present this as so ridiculous, but that email is an analog to every...
What is this? Being forced into debate about Destiny's allegations? Why? Why would these two people talk about Destiny's allegations? Okay, I'll take a look after this.
Every single thing the current admin is doing and we've accepted. That nobody will be punished for. So, I mean, I don't know.
Hold on.
What are you going to do?
Hold on.
Yeah.
So hold on. Let's. I wrote these down, so let's do them chronologically. FBI seizes X.com. Do you have a MAGA analog to nationalizing a social media website?
Well, we had Elon Musk, the wealthiest man in the world, who seemed to own Twitter in and of itself, who runs a PAC for the president of the United States called @America that he seized the handle for.
If it's scratch or cringy, it's because they are Destiny fanboys openly? What do you mean by that? Wait, openly? Aren't we a bunch of Destiny fans too? Or do you mean like they do it differently? Like it's a little bit too over the top?
Same Elon Musk had an official position in the White House that gave him access to every single system that the federal government runs for an undetermined amount of time. The president of the United States is acquiring golden shares in some large companies. That is a historically unprecedented thing. The president of the United States threatened to, I don't remember if it was execute or just send Mark Zuckerberg to prison forever if Facebook didn't fall in line. There's a truth out there that you could read for somewhere about that. But yeah, I would say all those things are pretty close analogs.
I think you just took a long-winded way to say no.
Okay, I completely and totally disagree, but I understand it's because in your brain it's been so normalized.
By the way, I'm not saying that everything that you just said is good.
No, I understand that, but like, I think that I think it's close enough. Like, this is one of the issues with
to nationalizing a website. You think these things are identical?
Yeah, I know. One of the issues why in your mind it's not even remotely close to that is because Trump didn't have to nationalize Twitter. Elon did it for him. Trump and Elon were best friends. Elon had an official position in the...
Hold on, we're going to get bogged down on this, but that's totally fine because I'm going to press you because this is like horse shit.
Press away.
So hold on. Can a private person... Let's say 50 years ago, 100 years ago, 150 years ago, I don't give a fuck. Can a private person buy a newspaper and then make editorial choices about what is published in said newspaper?
Yes.
What's the fucking problem?
The problem would be if that person was working on behalf of the president of the United States to edit said paper to be friendly to the president and was campaigning for the president. I think all of us would have a huge problem with that.
How is this any different than the Israeli sympathetic purchase of TikTok?
What is this a reference to?
This is in reference to the fact that we have incredibly powerful, rich individuals buy social media and media outlets all the time. The Huffington Post is obviously run by Ariana Huffington, who's been like a Democrat her entire fucking life. I'm not talking about
wealthy or powerful people buying a social media post. I'm talking about the president of the United States essentially having a right-hand man who owns this, who owns the social media post.
Why? Okay, so how is this argument disanalogous to the status quo prior when the effectively mass media outlets like Fox News, MSNBC...
That's mostly because they debate on TikTok, and TikTok space isn't as Destiny open. I guess chud shit. Okay.
And CNN and all that kind of stuff were owned by a variety of partisan people, and the partisanship of the media was evident.
Because partisan is different than takes orders from or is best friends with the president of the United States. I think there's things can be partisan, right? I didn't have the same complaints about Fox News before.
So do we have a First Amendment, or is a First Amendment good or bad?
Good, I guess. But what do you mean? The First Amendment right now, where the president of the United States will sue you if he doesn't like what you're saying, or use federal agencies to block mergers from companies if you host free speech he doesn't like. That First Amendment right now?
No, you're going too far with it. Is freedom of conscience and freedom of speech good or bad? Yes or no?
That's such a vague, sure, good, I guess. But that's such a vague nothing statement. But
okay, so if Elon Musk genuinely believes, and by the way, he could be an idiot, but if he genuinely believes that the left wing, through progressive bullshit and or overregulation, are limiting the greatness of the human species, and he needs to be sympathetic to the federal spending, slashing, deregulating federal government so they can free up money in order to give money to his SpaceX program so he can colonize Mars. Is that something that he's free to do with his speech?
Yeah, sure. But then Twitter should lose all Section 230 protections, and now they can be sued for anything posted on that platform that anybody finds to be illegally or violative or whatever. Like, if you're telling me...
You can still publish there as a liberal or progressive.
If you're telling me that somebody's buying a platform because they feel like it's so important to express some political belief that they have, then why should you have protections? Oh my God. Why should you have impartial protections for owning a social media platform? Like in a way
How is this not the exact... What's blowing my mind here is I feel like this is the exact inversion of the argumentation that was common in 2019 to 2021, where conservatives, such as myself, were bitching that the terms of service on social media websites were prohibitive. And then the liberals and the progressives were just like, haha, cunts, go make your own platforms. And then they did.
Okay, hold on.
And
Do
now
you
you're
think
like,
that there's a
no,
difference
not
between
like that?
Because I'm okay with 10 people being independently mischievous or evil, but, well, I'm not okay with it. That would be bad. But that is fundamentally different than 10 people taking orders from one guy to be mischievous or evil. These are two different things.
Okay, but I'm trying to balance. I agree with you. And if there's a mischievous or evil or conspiratorial attempt to overthrow the Republic of the United States, that should be investigated, prosecuted, and those people should be incarcerated. Okay, I don't know where we disagree in that. What I'm trying to get at,
say that again?
Is I was saying that if somebody is involved in a criminal conspiracy to overthrow the Republic of the United States, they should be investigated and incarcerated.
But you're just thinking about crimes now, so we're not doing anything
Well, I'm
different.
thinking about crimes because effectively within your very first bullet point, you gave me 8. We haven't even, you might have even given me like 15. Within your
what do you mean?
first
How are those
one,
crimes?
we have an explicit violation of the First Amendment of the United States.
They're arguing over something that Dems are never going to do? Yeah, but they're arguing over what they should do, right? Like, regardless of whether or not it's actually going to happen or not, right? Like, should you not try to entertain the question? Because I think discussing is pretty important.
States. So are you making that argument?
Wait.
Said, I think this is based.
What's the explicit First Amendment violation? What? First of all, the First Amendment is not a law. So what is the violation you're talking
about? Through what justification are you purchasing a social media website and moving it from private to public?
First of all, I think it was about SpaceX, but let me check. Hold on. FBI seizes it.
I think the first one was about X.com.
What are they talking about right
No,
now?
he said, while we're at it, let me get a golden share of 100% of SpaceX. But
there was one before that.
Well, the FBI seizes the X.com domain, raids all of Musk's businesses and residences, his communications with Putin, probably violates ITAR and FARA, but I don't care about it. Or FARA, sorry.
Okay, so hold on. There's things in there that I like. So, for instance, if you had suspicion...
Oh, it's just in case that Elon Musk is a Russian stooge. You kind of do want to find that out, right? Yeah.
That Elon Musk violated ITAR or FARA, then write up warrants,
well, here, I don't know what,
properties.
I don't know what the point of this conversation is right now. What?
Well, the point of the conversation is that Conor is against breaking the law. Like, that's the way that Conor comes off to me. It seems as though, like, no matter what, he's against breaking the law, which is something that Hutch also advocates for. It's basically along the same lines of Hutch, basically, like the line of reasoning. I mean, where you're hard lying for what not to do is breaking the law.
Like, I understand.
The point is that you guys have lost the fucking plot. But
I understand.
You're acting like you haven't.
No, I understand. What, like, the whole conversation, because we could run this down, but like this whole conversation.
He's against us fellow revolutionaries. This is why the working class of the world needs to unite, okay? Against tyrants like Conor.
Conversation is going to be you saying it has to be squarely within the good faith bounds and interpretation of the law. And then me saying we should probably be a little bit more creative than that, and then you disagreeing with that. And
okay,
that's,
so
we're going to loop on that.
Let me ask you a follow-up question.
But also, wait, real quick, I just want to say this is why, and Hutch couldn't get this yesterday, and maybe you'll get this or maybe not. This is why I'm saying like the how is not really the relevant part. It's the commitment to doing it that matters, and then the how afterwards is however you want to figure it out.
Yeah, that's just fascism. Yeah, that's just flexible authoritarianism. That's
sure,
all that is.
That's fine.
Okay.
The Revolutionary War was
you're
very
a
democratic.
liberal fascist now.
The Revolutionary War was not very democratic. Okay, overthrowing Hitler and killing all the Nazis was not a very democratic thing. Okay,
No, you misunderstood.
Oh, hey, isn't that another point that I basically was saying? That I said that wars are illiberal actions? I'm pretty sure I said this in my debate with Hutch. I said that wars are illiberal actions, and the Nuremberg trials after World War II was also an illiberal action, right? But we generally view these things as something good and necessary because we are pushed to an extreme scenario in which these things are actually necessary, right? As in, we ran out of choice, right? We have no more choice, which is why, courting war in the case of World War II was necessary, right? Yeah.
You misunderstand.
No, I perfectly understand. I understand. You're saying that like
no,
we have to
you misunderstand my point about fascism.
Okay, go ahead, tell me.
I don't give a fuck about violence.
I know.
Righteous violence is amazing. Okay?
Yeah, I know.
Fucking love righteous violence.
Righteous violence. You realize, yeah, but if you want to talk about that, right? I mean, wouldn't that be righteous? Wouldn't undermining Trump's legacy be righteous?
Okay. Flexible authoritarianism has nothing to do with violence.
Okay.
Flexible authoritarianism has to do with the fact that you achieve.
Okay. There's some stupid pedanticness that always happens with these groups of people, okay? Flexible authoritarianism isn't violent. What are you talking about? Authoritarian implies that it forces other people to do things under your authority, right? As in, they wouldn't be doing that in the first place if it weren't for the fact that you have an authoritarian government, right? Like, if you have an authoritarian government, you're like, oh, your choice in this does not matter. We're going to force you to do this anyway, right? Like, was there not a draft for these wars? Pretty sure, right?
Achieve power however possible, then you do whatever's necessary in order to maintain power. And that sounds like what you're advocating for.
Okay.
You're advocating for throwing out the system and making up the rules as you go. And so I need to ask you a pertinent question because you're saying like, oh, I don't want to loop on this bullshit. Okay, let's not loop. So are you saying these?
Fuck is a liberal authoritarian is like trying to maximize personal freedoms in an authoritarian government? That's not, that feels contradictory, but you know, maybe it's possible if the king really wants to specify that I only want the freedom of personal liberties maximized, but you should still be forced to do what you need to. Okay, it doesn't make any sense. Like when Hutch was describing it as a liberal authoritarian, like we are liberal. We're just liberal. That's it. It doesn't have to be that complicated.
These things because you want to have a hyperbolic propagandistic intent in order to get Democrats bloodthirsty about revenge against the Trump administration. Do you think these are sound policies that you actually want to execute?
Thanks, Conor.
Or do you want to shift the Overton window by having batshit insane policies?
The fuck? I mean, Trump is the one shifting the Overton window. Why not blame Trump first before blaming Steven? What?
But then allowing the guardrails to drive something that's actually good and productive. What are you doing?
I don't shift the Overton window or whatever. Like the positions I represent are the positions that I represent. Like that's the thing. They're the things that I believe in.
Okay, so nationalizing Twitter is a position that you sincerely hold.
It was nationalizing SpaceX, but I think seizing the servers...
The FBI seizes the domain of x.com.
And should airlift military bulldozers onto the server farms and destroy it, yes.
Okay. I can think of like a
I support this.
million laws that violates. So what, like, the courts come back and they say, this is somebody else's private property. You're not claiming eminent domain. It's a social media website, so it's the way that a lot of people express themselves publicly.
Listen, we're going to loop on this,
so
but this is how we can do it, right? But you're going to take issue with what I'm going to give, which is fine because you're thinking like somebody who wants to follow the laws. That's fine. But I'm just saying that like if you decide that you want to do it, you could do it in any way possible. Okay, so here would be the way we do it. We have identified in the United States of America 7 different sites that we think are optimal for the storage of nuclear.
He can't even accept that Trump is doing crimes right now. Conor is a literal loser. Wait, really?
Weapons.
What? Fuck it. I'm going to ask him.
We think that it's a national security crisis, that we need to move these things immediately. We're going to have to seize every building in these 7 different locations using eminent domain, and we're going to have to destroy everything there because we can't, for national security reasons, have anybody leave these sites that we've identified. And all of those sites just happen to be where all the Twitter servers are located, and then you destroy them all, you compensate them, and then that's it, right? That's the thing that you could do. The courts could try to stop you, but you could already be done with it by the time they even try to get a stay or whatever, and then that's it. And then at that point you're done. Now, I know you can think of a million reasons why, well, this is bad faith, or this isn't okay, or whatever. Like, I mean, technically, it's as legal as anything the Trump admin has done. Well, we'll follow the court order afterward. If the court blocks us, then fine, they block us, but everything's already blown up. Fuck it.
Okay, so, I mean, at this point, when people are alarmed, including myself, and I think arguably including Hutch, you are the worst. Okay, so fascism is political corporatism and flexible authoritarianism. So political corporatism is advocating in the nation state's body and treating it as a...
Yeah, 2 cups of water. I have 1 cup of coffee, 1 cup of water. Yeah.
Single biological organism. Flexible authoritarianism, like I said, is actually, in my opinion, the more nefarious aspect of fascism, which is where you just do whatever in order to seize and maintain power. And it seems like that's where you're at. So do you have a time limit on your liberal fascism? Do you have it
would be whatever is necessary.
It's
whatever is necessary.
Authoritarianism?
You know what? Here's a question. Here's one question. Let's see where we're at. If the Liberal Party in the United States of America were to conduct itself like the Conservative Party for 10 years and the Conservative Party also didn't change course, do you think this in this manner again? Because the results would be ruinous for us and our party and for everybody involved with it. Or if somebody wants to do it, fine, but I'm not going to be involved with it because I don't want to suffer the consequences of whatever that thing looks like. I have not heard a single thing from any of the libcucks, including you, Counterpoints, okay? I haven't heard a single thing that in my mind would disincentivize that future behavior. And I don't think investigating people for criminal conduct if the law has been broken is
imploding the republic is not a disincentive to you going through that behavior?
No, I'm asking you, what is the disincentive that you're presenting that for Republicans to not engage in the behavior that they've been trending in the direction of?
Box even said ignore the courts if need be. Like if the court rules in Trump's favor, right?
Over the past 3 decades, or now we're at with this whole MAGA thing, right? What would discourage them from doing the same types of stuff in the next election cycle?
Okay, so what you're saying, if I'm understanding you correctly, is that even if we follow Hutch's, Lonerbox, and my game plan of reinforcing the republic via legislation so we can fill up the holes. Hold on, let me finish.
Okay, there are no holes.
Fill up the
And he wants to punish the regards so other regards don't feel confident to do regard stuff. Yes. Yeah, that's like all deterrence.
Holes.
Lonerbox is 100% Team Destiny.
That the Republicans are poking in the bottom of our boat. They're going to find new holes to poke.
Yes.
And so we're going to be playing legislative whack-a-mole
forever
with the bad behavior of the Republicans.
Correct.
Okay. So
almost actually, except instead of whack-a-mole, you're only whacking where the mole used to be, and the same mole is going to pop up over and over again in new holes. But yes.
Sure.
Because no matter what you do, they're going to figure out a way to do what they want.
Yeah.
Okay. So hold on. We're kind of shifting gears, and I promise I'm not trying to be evasive by not answering your question directly. I'm talking about the political opportunity that's right in front of us. Okay. So right now, Trump is probably as unpopular as he's ever been.
I understand we're going to win the elections. I hope we win the elections. I want to win the elections. Yes.
It's not the elections. It's not the elections. It's actually about me.
Okay.
I'm going to talk about me because I love me.
Okay.
Okay. So the rhinos, the neocons, the people who have been pushed to the sides of the party, the same way that Nick Fuentes is salivating over an imploded Republican Party, that way they can seize more market share of the zeitgeist of the Republicans, is the way that I am salivating over the current political developments. And so I want the H-1B Indian tech futurist right to fight the Christian nationalist right, to fight the conservatarian right, to fight the podcast bro right. And I want them to implode under the weight of the fact that they deferred all of their authority to a pedophile who swept for his own pedophilia using the organs of the state. And in the chaos and destruction of the imploded Republican Party, I want my
Why is Conor so extra?
version of republicanism to seize as much market share as possible and try to beat the Trump cult into the corner. That's what I want. And I think that opportunity is particularly available in the next 3 years.
That's cool. I understand that you might feel that way. I totally disagree, and I don't think there's any reason to think that what you're saying will ever happen. I don't know why anybody would ever conduct themselves.
How much of the country is in the Trump cult, Stephen? Total population?
Not much.
Spoiler. Counterpoints believe they can retake the reasonable GOP by pitting the crazies against each other. Yeah, that's silly. There's no chance of like ever reviving the old GOP at this point, okay? Like in my opinion, like I would actively bet money against, like I would actively bet money that the Bush era GOP is never returning, because it was the Bush era GOP that essentially voted Trump into power, right? Like these people are the same people. Like I don't like it when people pretend as if somehow the culture has changed or like these are different people or something. No, the same people who vote for Bush are the same people who vote for Trump. All right, like can we not pretend that this is the case? I hate the fact. I hate the idea that, oh yeah, there's some like semblance of the old conservative party left. That's not true. When they voted for Bush, I guarantee you that they were just as nasty on the inside as they've always been. Okay, that they had darkness in their hearts, and it really only took Trump to take it out of them.
Give me a guess.
What do you mean by Trump cult? Like we'll literally follow Trump to the end of the earth and do whatever? I don't know, probably like 20.
No. One of the things that pissed me off about your conversation is you said, oh, well, if half the country is already against us anyways, then I don't understand.
Sorry, I was talking about half the voting. I understand that not the entire population votes, and
it's 1/3, 1/3, 1/3,
sure.
Right? 1/3 doesn't vote, 1/3 vaguely votes left, 1/3 votes vaguely right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then the Trump cult is one of 6 factions of the MAGA movement.
Okay.
So if the Trump cult, if the most if the Nazis in Germany are the most powerful faction, but they represent 10 to 20% of the population, then why is it like unforeseeable that the other factions could profit from their loss?
Because they can, but the issue is going to be when it comes time to run a campaign for 2028 or 2032, Republicans are going to look at what the most effective strategy is for running their campaigns. And then when they're in power, they're going to look at the most effective ways to manage their power. And they're going to look at how Trump did it in 2024, and they're going to say, why shouldn't we just do all of that stuff again? And you're not going to have an answer.
Because you're going to stomp their guts out in 26 and 28.
That's true. After winning an election twice, after getting his second win in office, getting their, 3, 4 maybe Supreme Court picks if Alito or whatever retires, after abortion's been rolled back, after dismantling the Department of Education and USAID, and after fundamentally rejiggering the entire world order based on their new concept of American isolationism, they are indeed going to lose the midterms. Correct. They are.
Why is that so? Why? I don't know. Whoever the fuck laughed, I want to grab your dick and twist it in a circle.
Thank you.
Why is losing the midterms so like flippant to you?
Because politics is about enacting power and enacting your political will. And if they lose midterms, they already don't use the Congress to do what they want. And they've already gotten to enforce a whole bunch of their political will onto the country. It's not like we're going to pass any legislation, obviously, under the Trump admin. So then the question is, well, what are we blocking them from doing? I'm not even really that sure.
Yeah, but hold on. But you do understand that anything passed by executive order can be undone by executive order, yeah?
So not necessarily.
Like Trump's agenda, Trump's agenda is built on quicksand.
Okay.
So if you actually did get Gavin Newsom into office, he could thoroughly rape Trump's agenda.
Like
the Republicans are bitching about that right now, that Congress is not codifying Trump's agenda into law, so it's incredibly vulnerable to the next Democrat.
So you can, technically anything that's passed via an executive order can be gotten rid of via an executive order, but there are some things where once the damage is done, the damage is done, right? Like USAID and the Department of Education, I don't think are coming back. Maybe the Department of Education, but I doubt it. And those were gone via an executive order. So,
but okay. Listen,
you know what? Maybe people only understand if we use like rape analogies. Okay, maybe it really is the case that people only understand rape analogies. If someone is raping you and you're fighting back, okay, you can't be the person who says stop fighting back. You're only encouraging them to rape you harder. That makes no sense. Obviously, right?
I think that it is a moral horror that 3 million to 14 million...
Wait, stop. Don't pivot on this. I need you to recognize that you just said anything that can be gained with an EO can be lost with another EO. That's not necessarily true. Sometimes the damage can be done, right?
Yeah, I was about to describe the damage that's been done.
Why do you? But I just described the damage that's been done. So why are you? I'm giving this as a counter. I'm giving this as a counter to your argument. Okay.
What's the difference?
You're saying that there are complaints.
Just articulate it real quick. What's the damage of PEPFAR and USAID being?
I don't care that you are going to rattle off the exact numbers of people dead. That's not what the point I'm making. I'm countering the qualitative argument you made that an EO that's given can be rescinded with another EO, and I'm saying that the damage that results from an EO coming can't be rescinded with a new EO, rescinding the prior EO. That's all I'm saying.
Sure. Isn't that like isn't that inherent to power?
Well, sure, but that's why you asked me the whole branch here. What?
Right. After something. Yo, hey, King Tsunami, thank you. Welcome. But yeah, Destiny is correct. I think I remember making this point as well. I said that any kind of damage has already been done, right? Like even if 100 years pass before the reforms that you want are in place and it gets to help people again, you're still not bringing back any of the suffering that has happened over the last 100 years that it took for these reforms to, actually fully like fix the nation, right? It's like you got fuck. You know what? Don't judge me, okay? Let's just say you got raped. Oh, and any new anti-rape prevention laws will not fix the fact that you still have trauma from the rape, right?
Why do you think that winning the midterms is so trivial? And I'm telling you why. It's because this president is operating everything from the White House. I don't even know how much Congress will be able to stop him from doing.
Okay, hold on. I'll try to address what you're saying head on because I think this is borderline fucking silly.
Okay.
Like, it's like telling a rape victim. Well, maybe we should just create new reforms. Maybe with reforms we're able to fix this. When it's very clear to me and us that the rapist doesn't actually care about the law, right? The rapist rapes because they can just do it, right? And they don't care about you or care about the law enough to not do it, right? Chances are they did it and they don't care, right? So there's no such thing as, oh, well, we need to pass enough reforms and then we're able to like reduce rape to like a low enough number or 2-0 or something. That's just not how it works, right?
The United States government and its economy is an oil tanker, okay? And
no matter how many reforms you pass, it will never, ever take back any of the rapes that has happened over the course of trying to get the reform passed, right? Like if you mess up the reform, if you take that long to get the reforms into place, well, that's still, it's like you arming yourself against and practicing self-defense against like a gang that goes around gaping women, and then people like Conor goes up to you and says, why are you arming yourself? Why are you open carrying? Don't you know that that's going to tempt the gangs even more, and they're gonna see you as a target even more for gape? Like, why the fuck would you open carry like that and, try to get them to fuck off when you're out there walking in public, right? Why not just wait until anti-rape reforms come in? Well, I mean, even if the anti-rape reforms come in, that doesn't mean that the rapists will not rape, right? Chances are they're already criminals, so they're going to ignore the law, right? They're going to, because they're already gangsters. Since they're already gangsters, won't they go out of their way to ignore the law anyway? Like, any kind of reform that you pass will not matter because this person is already a criminal, right? No amount of reform will fix that. And in addition, passing reforms doesn't mean that the issue is fixed, right? Passing a reform doesn't mean that my trauma from being raped is taken away, right? Or it doesn't like these reforms don't even pay my therapy costs either, okay? But yeah, unless the reform is specifically talking about therapy costs, which I doubt it will be about.
It's massive and it's powerful and it does a shitload of stuff every single day. What you've said is that
that's the issue with people like Hutch and Pisco. They just have that mindset, Fuck me. Death row is a prime example of this. We can threaten capital punishment and yet we still have serial killers. Yeah. Or any kind of demonization of pedophiles, right? That's never prevented Epstein and Trump.
We have drifted this oil tanker into rocks and we've ripped holes in the hull, okay? And I agree with you, and I think that's bad. However, what I'm saying is, if you look at the damage that's being done to this metaphorical oil tanker, we have the ability to seal compartments, and the oil tanker is still afloat and capable of executing 98% or 95% of what it was executing before. And what you're saying is, well, the current captain, ran the boat into rocks, and that was pretty stupid.
Is Pisco sucking up to Hassan's PR? Taylor Lorenz? Maybe. Fuck me.
So, at least from the way that I'm perceiving it, you're saying, let's run it into rocks too, to prove that running the oil ship into rocks is bad. And that seems fucking retarded.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah, real quick.
Absolutely.
Counterpoints. How can you say that that's what...
Well, this is Hobbit Follow, right?
Destiny just said, when he's trying to tell you that, you're saying that everything can be resealed, and for most of it, like, things will keep on moving. What he's saying is, something has been blown in the hole. You're trying to agree with him and say 3 to 16 million people might die because of it. And then you're like, but if we seal it up, those 3 to 16 million people... Destiny's trying to say those 3 to 16 million people have already died. There's no going back from that. There's no...
You're not even U.S. citizens. I'm upset off of the moral thing, but do you think that has anything to do with what the United States 98% fucking does every single day?
Except for...
Did you notice the 3 to 16 million African dead?
Conor,
if I hadn't brought them up,
I was only countering. Hold on. I was only countering the point that just because stuff is done by executive order and can be rescinded by executive order doesn't mean that that's a good thing or that that's like a huge.
There's no incoherence in this point, and you're imagining an incoherence.
Okay.
So I'm upset that 3 to 16 million people are dead. No, Destiny, shut the fuck up. I'm talking to this guy. So I'm upset that 3 to 16 million people are dead because it was preventable and it's dumb. Do you think that those 3 to 16 million people being dead, and I think it's 14, by the way.
Is anybody
3 to 14 million dead.
No,
does that alter the course of the United States whatsoever?
Does it affect the United States? I would say that.
Yeah, absolutely. It tanks our soft power. As a Republican, you should know that, right? Especially as a hawkish foreign policy person, right? As a former Marine.
Probably there's, I don't know, the numbers.
Wait, that's a big question. It doesn't even matter. It's not relevant. My only point was just that any
the answer is negligible.
that you rescind,
that's the correct answer.
An EO that you rescind doesn't mean that the damage from
All right, cool. So he's just retarded then.
the prior EO is gone. That's all.
What's the topic today? Conor being retarded as shit, which is just another normal day. Okay.
I was saying.
And I agree with you. Those 3 to 14 million people are dead. What I'm arguing
but then that
is
was
the
an
fact
answer. But
that
then
if you look at the entirety of the United States as a functional state entity, then that is a minimal amount of our annual efforts.
Sure. I was just saying that you asked me, this whole branch is started from, you asked me, why do you not feel like whoop-de-doo over winning the midterms? And that's why, because there's a ton of damage the Trump admin will do in 2 years, and will do in the last 2 years, even if we have both, I don't even know if we're slated to win the Senate, but even if we have all of Congress.
It's pretty far out there to win the Senate right now.
And here's an easy counterfactual. Here's an easy thing that could stop me right now. Like, what do you think? I can think of one answer. What do you think would have changed if we would have had the House and Senate over the past year? The only thing I can think of that would change is that
Whoa,
maybe that one big beautiful bill thing
Sorry.
would have passed in a significantly altered form, which would be good.
misclicked.
But that could be an argument. I don't know when our next budget reconciliation fight thing is coming up, or if we're
I think the
Yeah, we
DHS
probably,
is funded for like 5 years or something crazy.
yeah, but I also don't know
PEPFAR
how that works. Yeah.
PEPFAR and USAID might have had a softer off ramp.
How?
Which
Wasn't
would have
that was
saved
all
3 million
done?
to 14 million
That was
people.
all done
What?
via the executive branch.
Yeah, but the whole point is, like, it's the rescissions package that's accepted by Congress. So effectively what happened was the executive branch said, we're going to cut this. And Congress said, okay, we'll take the money back. Congress doesn't have to accept rescissions. They could have said, no, this program needs to continue. Or they could say, we will sunset this program, but in order to not have an interruption of services, we're going to do so this way. Here's the funds.
I would have to check that, but I'm almost positive that that's not true. Because the
They
implication
were
here...
talking.
I feel like Conor can feel the walls midterms closing in and he's nervous, so he is having to tap into his primitive instincts of conservatism. The semi-liberal arc was nice while it lasted. I don't know if he ever had a semi-liberal arc. He's always just been a conservative that's been anti-Trump.
They were talking about doing that. They were actually even talking about how because
hold on,
PEPFAR
I don't
isn't fully
believe
gutted,
the
it's like
conversation.
80% gutted. Hold on, and USAID isn't fully gone. It's just now under the authority of the State Department.
Yeah, I don't think the conversation was about
USAID
whether or
was
not
only
they
cut
should
by $30 billion, but it's a $150 billion program.
Sure. I don't think the conversation was about whether or not, they could cut it or do rescissions or whatever. I think the conversation was, what are we going to do when Trump says he's not going to spend the money anyway? Because I think that was Trump's position. He just won't spend the
He'll trip over himself to vote for the next Republican. Yeah, I'm pretty sure even at the beginning he stated that he would vote for J.D. Vance over Donald Trump or something. Oh, sorry, he would vote for J.D. Vance over Gavin Newsom, right? I don't know if he still has this position, but that's probably his craziest position. Oh, no, that's not even his craziest position. His craziest position is that he thinks that the Alex Pretty situation, he defends the ICE shooting. He defends the ICE shooting of the Alex Pretty situation. Yeah, that's the craziest position.
money. So I don't think that there was a way for Congress necessarily to say...
I think with a Democratic Congress, you call Marco Rubio.
Random Maxine. Yo, what's up?
Please never sing my people's music again. Oh my God. Trying to do Kanye West. Jesus Christ, listening to that was painful. And I was playing Ranked League of Legends too.
Okay, you rap for me then. Go, right now. Show me the way.
God.
Show me how wrong I am.
God.
Rap right now.
Okay.
Rap right now. Go. Church in the Wild. Go. Yeah.
Quiet, white woman. All right. What's a mile to a king? What's a king to a god? What's a god to a non-believer? Don't believe in anything. See, Kanye does not.
You're not much better than me. You're not much better than me. You're not much better than me. Fuck you. You're not much better than me. You're like what's a mob do again? What's a king do a god? That's what you sound like, by the way. Okay.
Capella, come out here and defend me. All right, defend my honor as an African American man.
But I mean, okay.
Also, by the way, I see Conor.
Is he really even a Kanye fan?
And Hutch's point, but I think they're forgetting the fact that because Conor's thinking he's gonna pull the Republicans back, and he has to accept he's not gonna pull that group again. That group is dead. It has.
Oh well, because the darkness has always been there, right?
I mean, like the darkness is in the Democratic Party too. We just never let it,
Well, yeah, sure, but I'm talking about like. You want to bring us back to a time before Trump happened, which implies that you think that it's because of Trump that everything has been corrupted, when it's actually the populace that has voted him in, right? That is actually corrupted, right? Trump is only the person who revealed America for what it truly is, right? A place that is ultimately very dark to the core, right? Like you can't this never began with Trump. This simply is the iteration of the same America that we've seen throughout the years, but we ignored, right?
I agree. I see Destiny's point very well. Like we cannot have a normal country after this. A large portion of the country just wants fascism, just wants to kill a large other portion of the country. Just cannot do this. There's no coming back.
That's not feasible. Exactly. Yeah, it's not possible to have a country where half of the country just wants to nuke the other half. Like that is just, we can't live in that environment. That environment is not, like we can't live in that environment. We just can't do it. Okay, like that's just not, yeah.
Destiny should have given the advice to Conor. I don't know if you watched that part yet,
No, I don't know. What did he say?
uh,
Just in case I don't watch it.
Conor asked for advice of, I want to make the new neocons, like a new Republican Party, like, and that's he said, like, that's a snowball's chance in hell. Basically, there's a low chance of it happening. I think Destiny should have said, you got to see yourself as a completely independent party, and you got to start pulling people from the middle. The Republicans are too far gone. The rhinos are extinct, and every one of them is lockstep in. You cannot pull from this party. They've already shown they are absolutely worthless. These are not the types of people you want in your party. We literally have what's his face literally cheated on his wife, wife with 5 kids, cheated on her with an intern. She literally self-emulates herself, trying to copy that the guy from Palestine, trying to boost his style. And they
who? The guy from Palestine trying to boost his style. What are you talking about in regards to that?
Oh my God, what's his name? He said he self-emulated himself to bring attention to Palestine.
Oh, Aaron Burns or some shit.
Bushnell.
I don't know.
Aaron Bushnell.
Bushnell. Okay, Burnell. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, dog, you cannot have a party with these. They don't even tell him you need to step down. No, they tell him stop seeking re-election. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck did the Republican have to do to, like, be told to step down, bruh? Does he have to actually? Should he have set her on fire? Is this the line?
Wait, who told who to not seek re-election? Like, which candidate? Which politician?
Party told the senator not to seek re-election after the controversy came out.
Wait, which senator? Which senator?
Oh my gosh, the senator that had his mistress kill herself.
Oh, okay.
They tell him not to seek re-election, but they did not tell him to step down.
I see. And I'm guessing this is supposed to show that they're too far gone to the point where, they're not even asking them to resign?
Yes. This is like...
MVTT said Gonzalez. Is that their name? Last name? Or whatever?
Is it Gonzalez?
Gonzalez? Oh my god, Latino, of course.
Yes.
Actual traitor. Yeah.
Listen, man, he didn't
There's
have
a lot of
kids.
traitors. Yeah.
Yeah, this was his former aide. Well, it was his aide. They tell him don't seek re-election, but don't step down. What's his name? Donut Operator wins a primary against the guy with the
what?
iPad.
I thought Donut Operator was only supposed to be some fucking Twitter shitter. He won a primary?
Nope. Donut Operator is I think he's on a runoff now.
What? That's no way. That's insane.
Was it Donut Operator? Was another
No, MVTT said Brandon Herrera.
Brandon Herrera.
Wait, is that the Proud Boy? Or
he's not a Proud Boy. He's known as the AK guy, firearms YouTube. Super alt-right. Nah, I don't even think they call these people fucking alt-right. Fucking MAGA. And I think he won or he's in runoff.
Jesus.
He either won or is in runoff. Which one is it? Primary election results. I think he ended up winning, but Texas has some weird rules. Yeah, it's just like we can't come back. Like, there's no coming back once you're like full MAGA. How do you expect, like, we bring these people back to normal, back to believing like, hey, you should vote, use elections, don't be crazy, don't do crazy shit. Dirty Dancer, I love the name, telling me he won. Yeah, this is like, there's no coming back from this. At best, Conor can save the last normies who haven't fallen full MAGA yet, but those are becoming the minority very fast. Donut Operator is friends with Texo.
Dude, yeah, but like how many... I don't like how people say normies as if normies these days are like passive, friendly, peaceful people. Normies these days are being exposed to Nick Fuentes and far-right conspiracy theories on Facebook. Like, this is like...
I will say...
Like, they're not even... Also, they're plugged in more than ever. Like, even the average blue-collar worker, like a fucking USPS motherfucker when I was in the USPS, like, these people are just as plugged in as the rest of us, right? Like, we talk about how online we are and don't touch grass. These people touch grass and they're lost, okay? Like, it is over. Yeah.
Yeah, I will say, like, somehow the MAGA people's the MAGA's online game is just way better than the lefts and liberals. I'm sorry, it just is, because I will be on Instagram and see some hilarious Nick Fuentes reel, fucking hilarious actually. And you know what? if you didn't know who Nick Fuentes was, you would think he's just a comedian.
Well, it's also but it's also because Nick Fuentes is like genuinely talented and entertaining, right? Like he is good at spinning a tale. He's good at spinning narratives, and he likes to walk the line of plausible deniability, right? And yeah, like when you're a fan of Nick Fuentes, you get to like back up all the way to the he was just irony and memes guy, right? Yeah, and honestly, like I'll be honest, the average political commentator on the right, they're a lot more entertaining by far than the average political commentator on the left, right? Like if you like even looking at Tim Pool and Candace Owens, these people can act. These people are like theater kids. But then when I look at someone like Hutch, right, or Pisco, right, when I listen to them, they're just very boring, very flat, very monotone, right? When I come in to see Candace Owens, you know that some Kino cinema shit is gonna go down, right? But then, like, she is here to spin you a tale beyond space and time. All right, something about time travelers, the liberty.
This is why Kelly Jean was mad at Cherry, saying like, "How can you be this black and this boring?" When you watch Candace Owens, you expect all black women to be.
You understand. Exactly, and that's such a crazy line. But you know what? That's kind of true. Like it kind of spitting. You know, it kind of spitting. All right. But yeah,
I feel like the left side is because we want to hold ourselves to be accurate and more honest. Sort of don't let ourselves just have fun. Just like have some fun, poke jabs at each other. I think that's a major weakness.
Well, I just don't know why. Like I just don't know why like liberal political commentators just can't engage some of that like fucking inner theater kid, right? Like it's really not that hard. Just please try to be at least a little bit entertaining, right? Like I don't want to watch Hutch like fucking with his droning monotone voice, or Destiny like fucking flatline reading an article like while like you play a video game while his voice is in the background, so you're not even listening to any words he's saying. Like it's just like this is the big disadvantage, is that people like motherfuckers are just not entertaining sometimes, right?
Yeah, 100%. I also will say the actual in-person ground game of the right is so much better, dude, and it fucking sucks.
Didn't you just take that from Steven today? That's a Steven opinion that you said today.
I've always believed this. I actually sent Steven a schizo email about this because I was. By the way, this was before.
Oh, did he take it from you?
This was before January. All right, this was before the nuke had dropped.
Okay.
I literally said something along the lines of, "Dog, why aren't we like having a coalition of all the left-leaning liberal creators trying to get shit done, dog?" I believe like this is just take Live and Learn plus Conor. I think you can get like 100
onto the hill when you say
200 people.
Hold on. Somebody said the kick stream died. I got it. Okay, sorry. I accidentally stopped it. Restarted it. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry. I interrupted you.
Like 100. I think Live and Learn plus a Conor live event to do something actually political in person. I think they can get like 100 to 200 people easily. They just advertise it properly. I think they can get like a lot of people.
Oh, are you talking about like a IRL Live and Learn?
Like like a maybe Live and Learn plus canvassing event plus sign up to vote event. Like, come on, dude, we can do so much. We're
seeing Pisco and Hutch banter and like fucking scream at each other back and forth on an IRL version of Live and Learn would be unironically very entertaining. Yeah.
Like 100%. If Live and Learn, Live and Learn, Destiny, Conor, who else would like be on the Mogler himself, and
why not?
Who else has a really active community?
Well,
I'm trying.
Well, one of the problems is that Live and Learn, they just can't stream anything on Twitch because of Steven. So he like they would have to only do it on YouTube essentially, right?
I was like, at this point? I know IRI, what's Hutch, both live stream on YouTube or they dual stream. Pisco dual stream, and what's his name? Soy Pill. I don't even think he streams. I think he just makes videos. So like
Soypill streams uncommonly, but he's not a streamer per se. He is mostly a video maker. Yes, that's correct.
Also, oh my god, how did I forget about our boy? He left the stream. He left Live and Learn, the second one to leave.
Josiah?
Yes, I think he could pull like 100 people. A live event. You guys do a Live and Learn or something.
Oh yeah, I think people. I think he has a large enough audience to have.
And he's already well connected.
People come on, yeah. But I think that Steven said like Josiah is still trying to be careful not to associate with Steven too hard, because otherwise like he might have a bunch of shit to look out for. But you know, I say to that, I don't give a fuck. Just simply because I think that if you got rapists in the White House, you know, I just don't think it's that big of a deal at that point. Yeah.
I think if you want like the more normie audience, I think it does matter. Because remember, the fact that it's a thing you can point to means it matters to a lot of people.
I don't know if I agree with that. Just mainly because I think that if the normie audience doesn't like it, then we should make them like it, right? Like we should make them get used to it. Essentially, the reason is because the reason is because the normie audience is so used to Donald Trump and the Republican Party when literally all of them are like pedophiles and rapists. But you're telling me that they can't even get over like one liberal having sexual controversies? Like that just seems kind of silly to me, in my opinion.
True. He just pulls up the Gonzalez dude. He says, "You know what? Pixie's still alive. She didn't put herself on fire. All right. You know what? If that's the go-to line, fuck it. That's the go-to line then."
Yeah, I mean, your personal controversies should also have nothing to do with like actual political activism, right? Like, it's not like Steven is running for political office or something. And even if he was running for political office, who cares, right? Like, you have Trump, so it's like, yeah, nothing is worse than that, pretty much, right?
Yeah, it's just like wow, the House rejected a war powers resolution. Actually, fucking kill me.
Oh, what does that mean?
That means nobody gets to rein in Trump. Those Republicans fucking. Oh, we had 4 Dems who voted no. Who the fuck were they? I almost Fed posted in live stream. Oof, fuck.
Is it Fetterman?
No, this is House.
Henry
Kuehler.
Oh.
Henry Kuehler, Jared Golden, Greg Landsman, Juan Vargas.
Wait, so what is this for? Like, what does that mean?
It means can they rein in Trump's military authority to conduct the operations in Iran?
Oh.
So it failed to vote in the Senate and in the House. So that means he gets to keep doing what he wants to do. There were 2 Republicans who held the line. Thomas Massey, let's go. There is still one rhino in existence, and Warren Davidson.
I mean that doesn't sound good.
To those 4 Dems, you know what? Fuck. I don't want to get you bad. Fuck. I don't want to get you bad.
Don't. Yeah, you're fine.
Poof. Yeah, it is. We are living in some weird times. Like one of my managers. My company makes products that are used in all areas of the world, and some of them are in military aircraft. And he was sending us articles of U.S. Military destroying Iranian vehicles and stuff. And he's like, "Oh, this is probably our products and our product line. Good job, guys." I'm like, "Dog, this might be in pretty poor taste." Like, what the
might
fuck?
be. I mean, considering how the U.S. actually did strike that school, right?
Wait, did we? Was it us?
Yeah, I'm being told that like we unironically struck that school.
Listen, dog. This is a woman's school in the Middle East. Honest to God, it could have been any one of the 3 parties. It could have been us because we hate brown people. Could have been Israel because they hate all other Arabs. It could have been Iran itself because they kind of hate women. So it's like it could have been anybody. But
yeah,
I'm not.
But that's a very convenient like kind of okay. Well, as long as we put our missiles into a black box, right? We never know who it is, whose missile it actually is. So it's okay. We're absolved of all guilt, right? Like that is. Yeah, I don't know about that argument.
I will. One last thing I will say after having to get more involved in the political process for my project with the state.
Yeah.
I've grown to appreciate more like the nuances of our system and how it works. And I've also grown to hate more people. Grown to hate people who like are completely oblivious and are constantly mad that nothing happens, but they never like engage in the system at all. I'm like, dog, actually open a book and just dive into it. And just remember to maybe occasionally breathe, but it's okay if you don't when you're looking into that book. Once you peel behind the curtain, you realize, wow, actually most people are just actually lucky that they were just born in this country. Like, you would not survive anywhere else if you were born somewhere else.
Sure, yeah. A lot of people don't make it out of the hood, right?
True.
Oh no! Don't do it! Don't say it! Don't say it!
I actually talked to my
Don't say it!
assemblyman.
Don't do your slogan! Don't do your slogan! Oh no!
Whoa, what? What slogan?
Your slogan.
I actually talked to the assemblyman of my hometown and his staff, and we talked about how I briefly mentioned in my pitch, because you gotta code switch every so often. Speak to your audience about how.
Are you code switching right now? Or are you?
Yes, I gotta talk like I talk to white people. All right, I'm talking higher class, like a white person.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's when you're trying to pitch a project, and you're talking to a fellow African American whose district is we'll say very suburban. You gotta focus on the problems of the place. Not a lot of jobs, not a lot of opportunity, and you can get a lot of projects done and getting through the door if you just like push it to the right people.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah.
So guys, go out, be politically active, but maybe listen to a few Foodshops VODs or videos while you're doing it. MAGA Best works very hard.
He does.
So does food occasionally.
Occasionally.
But yeah, go out, be active, and tell people to watch Foodshops.
Based. Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it.
All right. Yep. Thank you for finally letting me be free. Free at last. Free at last.
Free at last. Free at last. Okay. Thank God Almighty, you're free at last. Free at last.
All right. See ya. Good night, guys.
See ya. Okay. Bye.
Hey, you're unnecessarily killing 3 to 14 million people. What's your plan for these 3 to 14 million people? And you fucking grill the shit out of him over the fact that he's effectively doing like a double anti-Jewish holocaust of black people through incompetence.
I don't think those grillings even work. It's just
I don't know if Americans would give a fuck as much about especially for foreign stuff, but yeah. Make no mistake.
I'm confused.
I know 3 to 16 million people dying a big deal. I understand. It's a big deal. It sucks. It's bad, but I don't think most Americans care that much about it, as evidenced by the fact that nobody gives a fuck or even talks about the USA stuff.
Yep, no one cares about Africa.
But so don't get me wrong, okay? I think that winning the midterms is good, okay? And I think we'll probably win in 2028, which is good. I'm just saying that you want to disincentivize this strategy from ever being utilized in the future because people can see the great success of it. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Then I'm going to tell you this.
Yeah.
Now, upper middle class, was poor growing up, and I still live in the hood. Grew up here, save a lot of money on living expenses, and at the end of the day, it's not that dangerous here. Fuck it. You know what? You do your thing. Okay, you're a grown adult. The only person who should judge your decisions is yourself. All right. And you know what? That sounds valid. Okay, do what you want. Live your own life. Okay, that's part of what being a man is like. Okay, assuming that you're a man, but.
During your debate, you said that the United States is metaphorically is an incredibly fit person, but for the past decade, we have been like slamming donuts and fast food, and it's starting to affect our health. And if we keep going on this route, then we're like pre-diabetic and gonna get obese. What I hear when you say, I don't care how power works, I just want to do this, and then we'll clean up the mess afterwards. What I hear is you metaphorically, in the same metaphor, you want to smoke crack to lose weight. That's what I hear.
I mean, there are times in my life where I would go like, you know what? Maybe I should, maybe that is a convenient way to lose weight. Based.
Drastic times call for drastic measures.
True.
Well, see, and you don't even deny it, yeah.
Sometimes crack can be a good weight loss.
Yeah, it can be a great stimulant. You could lose a ton of weight.
You can't do the, like, if they go low, we just continue to go high ad infinitum. Like, it just can't happen.
Oh, that's what you think. We're going to win the midterms.
And this is what pisses me off about DGG.
We're going to win the midterms.
Hold on, cunts.
Hold on, cunts. Shit.
I'm here for the Mr. Mutin politics arc, okay? I'm here for it. I don't listen to him. I don't watch him, all right? But it's funny, okay?
This has been a thing for Dems forever, man.
Steal my Conor's position. He doesn't want to just do the go low, go high thing. He also wants criminal investigations when crimes have...
For Ozempic, they'd occasionally prescribe stimulants for weight loss. Well, guess what? I am prescribed stimulants for weight loss, okay? Vyvanse, 30 milligrams, the reason why it was raised that high, it's not even high. Actually, I'm taking 20 now milligrams every day. It's because they want to see how it would work, basically, for weight loss. In addition to my ADHD, so it's like a 1 for 2 special, basically. But it's only like 20 milligrams. That's like nothing. Okay, yeah. Steven is on like 70, which makes sense.
Been committed. Okay, so to be fair.
Yeah, wait.
Like if we know that the boat can take on water so easily, and a new administration can come in and just do this over and over and over again, you have to do it to make it be fixed. You can't just let it happen, and then all of our allies hate us over a president who lasts 4 years.
Yeah. Actually, hold on. Let's keep going with this metaphor. This is perfect.
Oh God.
I think 60. Oh, okay.
So what I'm saying is, these motherfuckers have driven the oil tanker into the ship is taking on water, but it's not going to drown. And what I'm saying is you need to get damage control teams down into the bottom of the ship, and they need to plug those holes. And you're saying, well, if they get in power again, then they're just going to rip new holes in the boat. And so as a result, you patching the holes is not going to fix that future problem.
Yeah, we got to
And
send
what
a
I'm
ship to the
saying
yard
is,
and fix it.
how about you cunts be responsible captains? Don't run the ship into new rocks. That way you can say,
What do you have against
hey,
cunts?
we didn't run the ship into rocks. We're the better alternative. Fuck the other captain. We just finished patching the holes in the boat. Don't vote for the other fucking captain. And you guys are acting like that's fucking crazy, because what you want to do is, if in this metaphor of being obese, you want to smoke crack, and then in the metaphor of the ship, you want to run it into different rocks to prove how bad ramming a ship into rocks is, and it's fucking retarded.
No, that's not true. That's not a good analogy, because in your analogy, they are facing the same problem, okay? But in our case, we're facing different sides. We're facing each other, okay? It's a 1v1 scenario. It is a me versus you scenario, okay? In your case, everyone is on the boat, so everyone is sharing the same problem. But in this reality, Republicans want to destroy Democrats, and Democrats want to destroy Republicans, right? Ideally speaking. So, you know, this is ultimately not a good, like, example. It's, yeah, that's, the analogy is fucking horrible, yeah. But, you know, I wouldn't expect Conor to make good analogies anyway. I think my rape analogy is the best one. It's like, oh yeah, we can pass reforms for, you know, to prevent men from raping women, but no amount of anti-rape laws will ever prevent, like, more rapists from not raping women, right? Like, obviously, like, for example, if you raise the you know, the years in prison from 20 years to 40 years, I don't think that's going to lead to a meaningful reduction in rapes that happen. It's not going to lead to a meaningful reduction in any way whatsoever, right? Because guess what? The people who commit crimes, they're going to commit crimes anyway. And they're not going to be thinking about, like, oh, well, what if I actually get caught? Because everybody assumes that they're never going to get caught, right? So this is like, yeah, it's just ultimately a very meaningless pursuing of the topic, right?
You guys are just jerking each other off online. Nobody else believes this shit.
Okay. I can't. The boat analogy is retarded. I can't work with this. But if you want to make an analogy to a moving vehicle,
tell me
it just doesn't. None of it makes sense, because driving a boat into rocks, I don't see how that ever helps anything ever. That's fucking retarded. You're right. So the analogy is stupid as fuck. Okay. Here's a better analogy. Okay.
Yeah,
here's a better analogy. Let me do a better. 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 No, that's retarded. You're retarded. There's no foreseeable future where driving the boat into rocks helps. You crash the ship and you all die. That's fucking retarded. Okay. What a more equivalent answer is let's say that you have a kid, and let's say that he is riding a trike, and he rides his trike, and you say, hey, when you're riding your trike, make sure to put on a helmet. And let's say he's like, okay, fine. And you force him a few times, but he stops wearing his helmet. Okay. And eventually, let's say you look at him, you're like, you know what? It's raining outside, and he's not wearing his helmet, and he's going to go ride his trike. Now I could force him to wear his helmet, or maybe I let him ride. Maybe he takes a little bit of an accident and he hurts himself, and then you bring him inside and you go, hey, look, that's why we wear our fucking helmet. Okay. That's what I'm suggesting. All right. That the infinite patchwork thing, when the other person doesn't want to play by the rules, and the second you stop babysitting them, they're going to ride without a helmet because they don't know what the consequences of riding without a helmet is. Okay. Whether that be on a real bike or on a motorcycle in the future, let them crash when the stakes are a little bit lower. See what happens when you do that, and then in the future they'll know why they have to wear a helmet. That's the thing that I'm saying, okay? I don't know how driving the ship into rocks helps. That doesn't make any sense. You never save a ship by driving it into fucking rocks. It's retarded.
Yeah, that's why I'm telling you it's retarded.
It's shrimple-ass, Conor.
Shrimple-ass.
Man, I'm going to come down to Miami and I'm going to fist fight all you cunts. So anyways.
Wait, can you just answer my... No, you gotta answer my original question. Just answer my original question, because you evaded it. You dodged it. My original question was, can you tell me what is the thing that you guys are suggesting? Because, by the way, I don't like my answers, okay? I think they're pretty bleak, and I agree with that. And I don't even know if they'd be politically popular. I agree with that. But tell me, what are the suggestions coming from the other side that would inhibit conservatives from acting this way in the future?
Well, I think that we went over all of the safeguards that we wanted to put in, so they wouldn't be able to act that specific way.
Say the thing.
Putting in a pardon exception for treason and sedition.
Oh, sure.
The president can no longer pardon treason and sedition.
I say get rid of the pardon.
The president can no
But we also have to hold the people who are currently guilty, right? Like we have to hold the people currently guilty into account, no? Like, yeah, the people who have already gotten away with it, right?
No longer pardon treason.
You know what? I really respect that one J6er that actually said, you know what? I actually belong in prison because I want to repent for. I want to repent. And I understand that I did something wrong, okay? Whoever that woman is, she is the one that actually deserves the pardon, okay? Because she acknowledges that she's done something wrong. She's admitted her guilt, and she wants to stay in prison to atone for herself. To me, that is the kind of American that we need, okay? None of this, like, fucking, like, limp-dicked, cringe, fucking J6er, like the fucking shaman guy, and the Proud Boys and shit like that. Fuck these guys. Not real Americans.
And sedition. I think that it was disgusting that Trump did that, but I don't think of all the things he's done that's like been the biggest threats to the
Okay, but
I would 100% issue that lady a pardon, okay? First, order of office, I accept your guilt and I pardon you, okay? Day one in office, I accept your guilt and I pardon you.
but hold on.
Also, that doesn't get rid of the 1,600 J6ers that were... No, it's not about me liking the answer. It's me saying, what would discourage future behavior that looks like the behavior that we have now? What would discourage that? I don't think if you made it so you can't treason, seditious, or treasonous behavior, if you can't pardon that, I don't think Republicans are like, oh, we got to behave in the future because we don't have pardons for these particular, like, historically difficult to get
I am merciful.
convictions.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Let's work with this. Let's work within this framework. So you think that if Trump wasn't able to pardon the January 6th rioters, that would not deter future actions?
Oh, no. I don't think those people that were, like the people that were rioting weren't planning on getting pardoned. They thought that Trump was going to show up and help them win the insurrection.
Yeah, because they're retarded. But do you think that if there's 1,500 people who are sitting in prison for decades because they try to overthrow the Republic of the United States, and then Donald Trump tries to do it again, how many people do you think are going to be willing to do that if there's already 1,500 people who are still sitting in prison?
All of them. I don't think that they're going through this with the plan of there's a pardon available.
I think that's incredibly retarded.
Okay.
You think that 1,500 people show up in order to do January 6, 2021?
Wasn't it like 100,000 people that showed up?
1,500 of them, hold on, I'm going to finish. Thank you. Appreciate you. 1,500 of them are in prison for decades. And then we have January 6, 2025. I got a treasure top, finally. And another 1,500 people do the exact same thing.
Oh my god, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Oh my god, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Holy shit, finally, after... Oh my god.
You say 1,500, it was like 100,000 or 50,000 people that showed up to this, right? It was just the front 1,500 that got in.
I'm saying I'm pretty sure 1,500 were actually arrested, prosecuted, incarcerated.
Sure, but I mean, it's not like all 50,000 could get into the Capitol. But like, if you were to not, even if you were to say...
Yeah, so 50,000 show up, but how many of them do what the 1,500 did previously?
As many as can fit.
So, okay, so your answer is they just do it again.
Yes.
Even though there's 1,500 people who are currently rotting in prison for decades.
Well, I don't think those 1,500 people weren't charged with sedition and conspiracy, so this wouldn't even apply to any of them, right? They were charged with like trespassing and rioting or whatever the fuck else and violent activity. The only people that were charged with seditious conspiracy were the Oath Keepers and the Proud Boys or whatever.
Loophole, okay, fine. So let's go ahead and expand.
If you wanted to say, by the way, real quick, if you want to say get rid of pardon power, period.
No. We're following the logic.
Oh, boy.
Pardon power cannot extend to treason, sedition, and rioting to interrupt a fucking government function or some shit. Whatever statute applied to the January 6ers, you expand the pardon power to not be able to include that. And you're saying that's not a deterrent.
I don't think that people that are committing crimes like that or enacting things like that are thinking with the wherewithal of like, I believe that if I get arrested and this gets fucked up, that President Trump will pardon me in the future. Because in their mind, this is like an all or nothing thing, right?
So I think this is bullshit.
Well, for the first January 6th, yes. But for a follow-up January 6th, no. I think for a follow-up January 6th, they're 100% going to be keeping that part in mind. They're going to be going in probably even more violent and crazy than ever because they know they're going to get pardoned if like a Republican wins again, okay? Or they actually succeed in overthrowing the government. Yeah, I would say 100%. I would say 100%. They would even be they would be even crazier. They might even start fucking assaulting with guns and rifles and shit like that. They might actually start like storming the Capitol with weapons, right? At that point.
But that's okay. So let's move to the next example.
Also, keep in mind in terms of like practicality.
You don't like it.
Real quick, keep in mind that
you don't like it.
Okay, hold on. Wait, because I'm letting you get away with way too much loaded shit without loading mine stuff in the opposite. Okay, it is retarded to imagine that a person who is rioting at the Capitol with the goal of overturning the government is going to restrict their behavior based on what they think the current governing regime will be limited by, okay? That is fucking nonsense, okay? So if you're saying like, hey, we're gonna go have an insurrection at the Capitol, and somebody says, well, hold on, you can't have an insurrection because that's against the law and the president won't be able to pardon you. Which president? The one that I'm helping coup the fucking government? He just won't have me arrested, right? This whole line of argumentation is actually fucking retarded, okay? I just want my opinion to be clear on that. You can have your opinion, but I would make sure mine is clear on that, all right? Number one.
Okay,
Number two, if you're going to pretty sure that requires like a
fails.
constitutional amendment, all right?
The coup fails. No, you reframed it.
Okay.
So the coup fails, and the people who participated in an attempted coup are currently incarcerated for decades.
Yeah.
Does that affect the future behavior of people, yes or no?
I think that might actually, yes.
Okay, that's close enough that I don't care.
Okay.
The coup is failing.
But for that, we would have actually needed to convict
don't
a ton
reframe
of
it.
people for that.
I'm
not reframing it.
Exactly what
I'm saying that that's not what happened. The only people that were convicted of any kind of treasonous thing were the Proud Boys and I think maybe the Elk Keepers. Did you bring enough ammo to kill this? Because I didn't. I had like 50 bullets.
If Enrique Tarrio was in prison for the next fucking 30 years, do you think the Proud Boys are going to do what they did in 2025?
I think there's a good chance of it.
Yeah, of course. What? Yeah, of course. Are you delusional? They got pardoned. Of course they're going to do it again.
But I also think that over half the people that were insurrecting at the Capitol, I bet they don't even know who Enrique Tarrio is. So I don't think it would influence most of them.
We just don't.
I would say yes.
We don't
because
agree
these
on the
people are
nature
crazy.
of crime and punishment and deterrence. So I'm ready for the next one.
No, because crime, punishment, and deterrence isn't a real deterrence. Okay? How many do you really think that if you increase the severity of a crime or you increase the minimum bar to reach a crime or something, like that's going to prevent the crime from occurring? That has never worked in the history of ever, right? Omnivore, thank you so much for tier 2. Like, deterrence is a myth, okay? The only deterrence is improving your society and material conditions to the point where people feel like they no longer feel the need, or they have received the mental help to no longer commit any crimes, okay? I sound like a fucking tinky saying that, but it's just true. But
Okay.
For
no, fuck, hold on, I'm sorry. The statement you just made was so fucking retarded. When you said, we don't believe in the nature of crime and punishment and deterrence, you're talking about an action that involves overthrowing the lawful order. So definitionally, this is going to be different than any other type of criminal thing we're talking about. We're not talking about the chance of getting caught for murder or the chance of getting caught for stealing. We're talking about being held criminally responsible by a government that you are trying to actively overthrow. I don't think that in your mind, you're necessarily thinking of, am I going to be pardoned by the next president when you're trying to coup the government to get a new president in? That's what I think. Maybe it'll deter a few people, but there are plenty more to show up. There were over 50,000 people at the J6 stuff. Only 1,500 got to the Capitol. Even if 10,000 decided not to show up, there are easily more that would have taken their place. 100%.
Okay. I'm gonna restate a statement that you already agreed to.
Good.
January 6, 2021 happens. 1,500 people are incarcerated. They're serving lengthy sentences.
Hell yeah, that would have been
Does that
days.
affect future behavior, yes or no?
I think it would have, yes.
Okay, that's
If it
all
would
I
have
need.
happened, yes. Okay, all right.
Okay.
But I think there's enough crazies out there to go do it again.
Maybe.
I don't know if I would agree with that, but one thing else, well, I mean, I would agree with that only if I can say that it's probably has limited deterrence. No, it has deterrence. Oh, the reason why I think it has deterrence because it's the difference between having no punishment and having any punishment, right? And I think that is the biggest difference between the two, all right? Because when I say that, like you're going to get a punishment anyway, but it's a lesser punishment versus a more severe punishment, that typically is not factored into a criminal when they break a law. However, not receiving any punishment and versus receiving a punishment of any kind is always going to be factored into someone when they're breaking a law, right? Whether or not you're going to be charged and like have a crime in the first place is by itself a deterrence. But escalating things to the point where you make it like 30 years or 40 years, 50 years, that has no good deterrence. Hey, Food, I noticed that your mere presence in DEG triggers like 75% of them. What is their problem? They don't appreciate good art.
Okay,
but
then
I
we
think
shoot that.
the way
then next time. Okay, here's
I'm sorry,
here's
I just
my.
feel like-
No, I got it.
No, wait, because you're going to go to a whole different thing. I just want to say real quick, the reason why I think that deter, because I just realized where some of our mismatch was. The reason why I think, like, I would say the exact same thing if the officers had opened fire and if, like,
Talk to the couple next to Anachronia, Lawson for totem back.
20 people had been killed by gunshots. I think that would deter almost all future behavior. But not because people would be thinking, oh my God, I'm going to be arrested, or oh my God, I'm going to be shot, but because it would have forced like a national conversation, and people would be reminded of like the day of, and like everything that happened, and how fucked up everything was, and that people had been arrested and held accountable, and that this was all like a really, really, really fucking bad thing. It would have forced a national conversation and more attention on it. That's why I think it would have deterred future behavior. I'm sorry. Not simply because there were people in jail. It would be, yeah.
Okay, perfect. No, that actually that goes along with my proposed reform. If there's a riot within the Capitol building or the White House, and the Capitol Police are able to articulate imminent threat of death or great bodily harm, they are authorized to open fire. That's my reform.
Okay.
50 Ashley Babbitts. 100 Ashley Babbitts. If you riot in the White House or if you riot in the state capitol, you can be put down.
Is that even a reform? I would assume
no, it's not. But it could be an explicit policy change stating that the Capitol Police let shit go on for too long. They have the ability to articulate deadly force under imminent threat of death or great bodily harm. More cops should have opened up.
Jesus. I mean, like, if you felt like you were under threat of great bodily harm or injury or death or whatever, you had the right as a police officer to shoot. It was only through an ungodly
but you remember that
amount
cop who got slammed into the doorway?
Yeah.
Remember that cop who was being crushed by the doorway because the mob was crushing his body between the door and the whatever?
Yep.
A police officer behind him should have pulled his pistol, put it over his friend, and shot whoever was crushing his coworker with the door.
Okay.
That's the ROE now.
Well, I agree. Well, nobody disagrees with this, okay? Like, literally nobody disagrees with this. I just don't really get where he's going with this.
Well, no. That was the ROE before. It's just that the officer.
It was the ROE.
How's that not fascist? What do you mean? Shooting someone to protect your cop buddy? I think that's justified. Yeah, someone is killing him, right? The officer being crushed, that person is being killed. Like, literally being killed.
But I'm saying we can make a policy. We can say, hey, you thought you'd be.
Oh, you're saying that like the new policy is going to be like proactively.
Crushing your coworker, you can shoot him.
Sure. Okay. All right.
Conor says this, but still defends the ICE shootings. Yeah, to no one's surprise.
Sure. Updated training for Capitol Police so they can slaughter more protesters if they're engaged in a riot in the Capitol.
Protesters is a pretty odd word for what they were.
Why? You guys keep going, geez, why?
They were rioting.
Why? There was imminent threat of death or great bodily harm. Why are you freaked out by that?
I just don't even understand that. I don't even know what the changes that we're suggesting, but sure, whatever it is, sure thing.
Updated training. Okay. Anyways, so it seems like you agree with that one. 50 Ashley Babbitts next time. So this one I actually do love.
Not good.
Wait. So what was the point of this? I thought we were talking about illiberalism and liberalism.
Video game, go on.
I actually have two that I should probably address before I wrap. But foreign disinformation and FARA laws not only should be explained to the public, they should be aggressively enforced. Effectively, the Tenet media investigation should have resulted in lengthy sentences for anybody who knowingly participated in it.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Okay.
Hey.
Do you think that would disincentivize future disinformation campaigns in the United States, sponsored by a foreign rival?
If we actually enforce stuff like that, yeah, I think it would be. I think that's a really, really important thing we need to do. Yes.
Okay. This is the other one that I wanted.
Hodge versus Destiny. Who wins that debate? Oh, well, Destiny. But it's because I already agree with Destiny, so it kind of makes sense, no?
To address that I think is important. So a codification of the 14th Amendment insurrection process and an execution of said process. So let's say that they say, oh, well, this power is delegated to Congress. How? Do we have a committee that establishes whether or not somebody is guilty of insurrection, even if they're not guilty of underlying crimes? Do we have to vote on it 51-49? Do we have to vote on it 60-40? But whatever Congress comes up with in order to enforce the insurrection clause of the 14th Amendment, codify it, and then enforce it.
Sure. This would require a constitutional amendment, but yeah, sure.
January.
I like that Punisher Daredevil clip on the Destiny subreddit. Oh, that one's a good one. January
6, 2021.
Yeah, you can't do that. But I mean, like, you can have
Why couldn't you? If they hadn't been pardoned, or if they hadn't been,
it's a principle of something called fucking ex post facto or something.
It's it's Cisco versus Picard.
Bullshit. But I don't remember what it's called. You can't make a law retroactively apply, basically.
I think ex post facto is the word.
Good.
I hear you. The only reason why I would push you on this, I'm not going to lose any sleep if I'm wrong. I don't care if I'm wrong in reference to this argumentation. I would say the 14th
Yeah, we already know you don't care about being wrong, okay? Like, tell us something new, please.
Amendment is already on the books. The reason why it hasn't been enforced is because nobody understands the enforcement mechanism.
Oh, look at that. See, that's a creative... Okay, yeah, I'm on board with that, sure.
Yeah, so codifying the enforcement mechanism has nothing to do with whether or not the law is already on the books.
But the only
At least in my opinion, that's what I would argue in court.
The only punishment, though, for that 14th Amendment is that you just can't hold a future office.
Which is fine, but hold on, think about this, because this would actually enable... When you guys talk about Nuremberg 2.0, I get actually kind of fucking annoyed, but that's...
I would assume Destiny wins only because of a skill advantage. They already debated. You realize that, right? I don't know what I don't know if you're posing this hypothetical knowing that they already debated or yeah.
That's okay.
Okay.
That is what would be required for Nuremberg 2.0 or Truth and Reconciliation, whatever they call it, Truth and Reconciliation Council. You would need to codify the process of the 14th Amendment Insurrection Clause, and then you would need to enforce it.
I mean, what does it signal to the rest of the world if we leave this shit unpunished? That is okay.
So that's like the first
That's news to me. Go watch it right now. Actually, you should watch me watching it, okay, instead.
step. And you guys are like LARPing about Nuremberg 2.0, and you're not even thinking about the first step.
Okay.
No, like, no. Who cares? Oh my god.
Nuremberg
Go
has
away.
nothing to do with the 14th Amendment
Dude, he's so annoying.
or any of the resulting consequences from the 14th Amendment. But if it really makes you feel
You
powerful
think
and
there are
good to
plenty
use
of
the word
people,
LARP,
you
then
think there
good
are plenty
job.
of
You
people
got it.
that aren't listening to you when I ask what do they want? They say Nuremberg 2.0.
I always feel like Conor comes in there to, like, basically act like a macho, like a total macho man. And so then he can go around and flex his macho-ness everywhere, and it just comes off as like very insecure masculinity.
I'm sure there are people that say it, sure.
I think I've
Like Conor is just a hot bag of insecurity about his masculinity.
heard you said Nuremberg 2.0.
I probably said it, yeah,
I think
but
you said
what-
Nuremberg 2.0 in a debate. that we
I
did
wasn't making
together.
fun of you for the Nuremberg 2.0 thing. Well, I was coming through. I was making fun of you for implying that, like, I was making fun of you for saying that, like, the first step is bringing back Section 3 of the 14th Amendment. I don't think that has much to do with anything.
If you want a Truth and Reconciliation Council that actually holds the Trump administration accountable for its crimes, how would that not be the first step?
Because there's nothing criminal about it. All the 14th Amendment would prohibit you from doing is if you were a prior oath taker, you cannot hold future office. That's the only punishment that it confers.
Wouldn't that be good for the Republic?
I mean, I think it would be, yeah.
And wouldn't that potentially deter future people doing that?
To bring that back, yeah. No, I think it'd be a good change. Wait, I don't know what the fuck you've mind fucking arguing. I think it'd be really
I mean, it was top of Destiny's agenda. Okay.
good change. I don't disagree with any of that.
Yay!
Cool.
The
Cool. So to be clear,
Oh,
even
the,
if
the
you
only
won't
thing is
concede
that
this-
it would require a whole new constitutional amendment to do it. But
I
think it'd be a
can
good change. Yeah, of
finally
course, we should
start
bring
doing
back that.
I
Clue
don't think so, but that's
scrolls
okay.
now.
It
Oh
would not require a new
my-
constitutional amendment to undo a prior constitutional amendment. Actually, there's one right answer here.
What constitutional amendment are you undoing?
Right now, would you be undoing? You want to change the 14th Amendment?
Hey,
No, I don't. What's 14th Amendment Clause 3 state?
bring out the
Well,
meerkats.
right now, the Supreme Court has said that the only way to enforce that Section 3 is with a statute from Congress. Congress has to enforce it.
Statute from Congress?
I don't know if you call it a stat. I think it would be, or a law or something, but yes, Congress has to pass a thing, yes. I hope right now in
If-
your brain
if
you're thinking
you-
that sounds
if you
really
are
retarded,
correct-
because it is retarded, but yes, that was, because in the thing, their retarded argument, and I agree it's retarded, but if you look at the 14th Amendment,
I feel like we've been talking about tit for tat for a year at least. I can't get enough. It's my favorite subject.
there is a clause that says that you can remove the injury, or you
He likes his gay little toys. I'd say he's fairly secure. You mean guns?
can cure the injury or whatever by having Congress pass a law saying we forgive these people. But Congress, so this is the last sentence actually, but Congress,
No. If you're talking about Warhammer 40k, Warhammer 40k is like the way for insecure men to feel like to give themselves a chance to play with action figures without like pretending that they are like masculine or whatever. Like basically it's like a masculine friendly, like a ego friendly way to play with action figures, okay?
made by a vote of 2/3 of each house.
Like if he's playing with Barbie, then sure, I would say that yeah, he's pretty damn fucking secure then. If he's openly playing with Barbie, all right. But he's playing with Warhammer. That's like the most like pretentiously masculine activity ever, dude.
House remove such disability. And Roberts and the rest of the retards on the Supreme
come
Court
on.
interpreted that as well. If Congress has the ability to cure that disability, then it must be Congress that enforces the disability, even though Section 3 provides
Yeah,
for
but,
language. But that's what I said, yes.
couldn't you infer? So what I would infer, this would be
Yeah,
my line of
ego-friendly.
argumentation. What didn't Colorado effectively state that
Pretty
they appointed
homo?
a council
Okay.
of experts to determine whether or not Donald Trump and his ilk
Same.
had conducted
It's a time and money sink. Uh-oh. Is your husband into that? It's over, dude. Oh yeah, also stumbling. Good job on the appearance that you had with Steven today. Yeah, pretty based.
insurrection?
Correct. In
They
every
made that
court where it was
determination.
adjudicated, they made that determination, but it was not in a federal court ever that adjudication was made. Yes.
Well,
I agree with everything, but replace insecure with the most secure. What are you talking about? But like, what is the one thing that all chuds on the internet love? It's Warhammer 40k. Okay, Warhammer 40k is like dominated by insecure, like emasculated conservatives.
Correct. But what I'm saying is they made that adjudication, and then therefore they use that as justification to remove Trump from the ballot.
Yep.
Why couldn't Congress say, well, it's up to Congress to...
Like they pretend as if they're on some kind of fucking gay-ass Warhammer platoon, and then they role play and shit. It's like, oh, dude, just please, just actually go and fight in the real war.
Cure. If it's up to Congress to cure, then it's up to Congress to kill. I don't know. And so they could say, okay, well, the way that Congress is going to do that is we're going to appoint a bipartisan council of 12.
You have to understand that Warhammer is making fun of that type of masculinity. Yeah, and just like how Star Trek makes fun of conservatism and makes fun of capitalism, at the same time, there's a pretty large conservative fan base for Star Trek, right? What I'm saying is that, like, conservatives are retards, and they're going to enjoy a piece of media, even though that piece of media is criticizing their worldview because they have cognitive dissonance.
Congressmen who effectively adjudicate, whether or not somebody has committed insurrection.
Yep.
And
Just literally just look at Helldivers, okay? Like Exhibit A, Helldivers, Exhibit B, Warhammer, Exhibit C, Star Trek.
and then they determine it. And then that's it. And then that person is barred from office.
I mean, they could do it.
I don't think that requires new legislation. I think that requires them just saying this is how we're going to do it.
Correct. Yeah, no, they could do that right now, sure. But they could literally just do it right now. Like, Congress could pass a thing tomorrow and say, by a vote of 2/3 of each house, we have decided that all of these people were engaged in insurrection or aided in insurrection, and now they're no longer able to hold office. They could just do that right now under the current reading of the thing. Yeah.
Okay. So the main thing that I want to point out through this conversation, because I think one of the main contentions is that you are accusing Hutch, me, and Lonerbox by proxy of only wanting to patch the holes in the boat. But what I think that we've articulated, because I brought up like 3 bullet points that are reforms that Lonerbox, to his credit, brought up. And I think not only do they patch holes in the boat, they prevent us bumping into maybe the same rocks, but at least we're not bumping into the same rocks in this metaphor. We can bump into different rocks.
Yeah.
But at least we're not bumping into the same ones.
Yes, but what I'm saying is, like, I don't know why we're... If you want to roll the analogy thing, okay, you know how people create hacks for games, and then the anti-hack people have to create like an anti-hack, and that's like an arms race back and forth?
Yeah.
I don't want to be in an arms race with the other party insofar as rule of law is concerned. We should all be on the same playing field. When we're patching or reforming stuff in order to prevent rule breakers from breaking rules, when we're patching and reforming stuff, that's a losing game. I don't want to play that game. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, but how are you not like saying, I'm going to deter their hacking by hacking myself?
I am saying that.
Yeah, isn't that retarded? Isn't that how you break games?
Well, it's not.
Well, it's the only way to equalize, right? Like, you're not going to be playing fucking Escape from Tarkov without hacks because everybody else is going to have hacks, right? It's literally the same thing. Why the fuck would you play PUBG with a bunch of, like, Chinese hackers if you are the one playing vanilla? Like, what? You're going to just rely on your skill? Is that it?
Not retarded because you're doing something, because your goal is...
Oh, just click on the head.
Ideally, hopefully, is different than the other person's goal.
Yeah,
Their
that's
goal
retarded.
is to destroy the liberal system by hijacking it and taking advantage of it. And your goal is to, unfortunately, working outside of the liberal system, save the liberal system by enforcing that everybody inside that system is going to play by the rules.
No, I think this perfectly articulates why I disagree with you so aggressively.
Okay.
So Titanfall 2 is the best first-person shooter of the past decade. And unfortunately, it's not well known, or it's not as well known as it should.
Okay, he's right. But he's about to make... I bet he's going to say something really retarded. As somebody who genuinely enjoys... somebody who genuinely enjoys Titanfall 2, and I have played the shit out of multiplayer in Titanfall 2, and I really enjoyed the story campaign. As somebody who has experienced that, I can't wait to hear what the fuck comes out of this guy's mouth, okay? We'll see, all right? But this is my domain, all right?
Okay.
And it was beloved by its community for years after its creation. And hackers ruined it for months or years. And Respawn, because they didn't have the assets, they only put 1 or 2 people on the patch team. And so the game was unplayable for months.
Okay.
So the reason why I'm articulating this history is, number 1, I love Titanfall 2. And you guys should go play Titanfall 2 with me.
Wait, so I don't... Wait. So I don't get it. I don't get this.
However,
thing.
If somebody told me, well, the way that we're going to fix Titanfall 2 isn't by patching and aggressively banning hackers via the 14th Amendment. Instead, we're going to hack it ourselves so we can teach the hackers that hacking is bad. I would be like, that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my entire life.
Yes. Unironically, yes. Okay. If some hacker is like fucking slingshotting themselves across the map, okay, with a fucking grappling hook, okay, and they're like one-shotting everything with the Kraber, okay? Because, you know, they have like fucking snapshot, like fucking like hacks, right? Like the hacks where the scope of the Kraber automatically like juts to a player, right? And then it just instantly deletes them from the map, right? Yeah, in that case, I'm sorry, but in that case, in my opinion, okay, yeah, maybe you should also hack. Like, it's no fun to play against someone like that. It's no fun to play against someone who has Kraber hacks, okay? Like, yeah, it's not. It's like if somebody took out a smart pistol, right? Why the fuck would you, like, well, except a smart pistol is not. The only reason why nobody wants to use a smart pistol is because everyone agrees that it's not honorable to do so, okay? But yeah, if you want to use a smart pistol, feel free to do so. And if you use a smart pistol, all right, I'm going to be fucking spamming the Spitfire, okay?
And
this happens a
anybody
lot.
who's
They put 'em in
trying to
hacker
play the
queues.
game is going to stop playing the game.
Grappling hook slingshot is not cheating. No, what I think is cheating is if you install like software that will automatically make your aim auto aim, right? It's auto aim for Kraber, right? Like that's obviously not cool because like you're always going to be able to stay on target and you're always going to be able to hit your shots. And since the Kraber is like a one-shot weapon, it's just like, yeah, obviously that's unfair.
Because the malicious hackers are going to be hacking. The virtuous hackers are going to be hacking.
Because the entire point of the Kraber is that like you either miss or you die, right?
And anybody who's playing the game isn't going to be able to play the game. And that's why that's dumb as fuck.
Well, they actually do this. They put people into hacker cubes. Maybe not for Titanfall 2, but like if you're seen hacking in like, I don't know, fucking like Battlefront or whatever, you're going to go in queues with only other hackers.
It's also, the issue is that like it's totally disanalogous. It doesn't work here because you can.
Why? It was your analogy. I just went with it.
No, but because you're talking about like. What I just told you was that I don't want to be involved in like the arms race between hacking and anti-hacking.
Yeah, you want to be a patching puck. Right? You don't just want to do patches.
But the issue is that like people hacking in a game is never going to disincentivize other people from hacking in the game. Right? Like that doesn't make sense from like a queue to queue. You don't play with like the same players over and over and over and over again. Now, because of the way that matchmaking works, you're getting like you're rolling like a new country every single time. So there's no like learned behavior, you know? If we to go with the tit for tat thing. What do you mean? Okay, hold on. Do you think that if a person hacks...
The funny part is the smart pistol is bad due to how long it takes to fully lock a target? Yeah, maybe, but yeah. I mean, it has its downsides because they have to put downsides into it, right? Like, it has to have downsides, otherwise it's fucked. But yeah, like every single other weapon is better than the smart pistol if you actually have some half-decent aim.
In a game against another hacker, that other hacker is going to be like, wow, that guy hacked against me. I think I'm probably never going to hack again.
No.
Okay. Do you think that in our system, if conservatives thought, ooh,
damn, now I want to play Titanfall.
If I'm like working heavily with this Trump coin shit, I might have...
I kind of do miss the Ronin and the North Star.
Literally every fucking asset I own seized, and I might be under criminal investigation for the next decade. Do you think that would disincentivize them from engaging in that behavior?
Yes.
Okay.
Isn't it cool how I'm into these games?
So that's the difference, right? But I don't think there's anything illegal.
But prosecuting people for corruption isn't the equivalent of hacking.
Corruption is not a crime, and crypto coins and owning Trump coin and being involved in rug pulls and all that bullshit is not illegal. So you would have to use something.
Let's make it illegal.
That's fine, but you can't ex post facto make the prior engagement with it illegal.
I don't give a fuck. And by the way, this is one of the things that actually consistently pisses me off about the conversations that we had. What was it? About Hunter Biden. It is basically like, what? Oh, well, it's just nepotism and cronyism, so who gives a fuck? And Trump is substantially worse, so definitely who gives a fuck? And my solution is, let's make a rule prohibiting this behavior.
Do you think that it's possible for you to make so many rules prohibiting behaviors that future Republicans that see MAGA as a template just will have no options or no place to go? They'll be like, fuck, I guess they patched everything. Like, do you think that's possible to do?
No, but I think there's glaring exploits right now that must be patched.
How are there glaring exploits in a system that's been running for hundreds of years?
Crypto and public bribery and...
You think that absent crypto, the current administration would be significantly improved?
I used to play Frontier Defense. Frontier Defense is great.
Absent crypto, the current administration would be significantly improved?
Yes, I think that a lot of the things that you don't like and I don't like, to be clear, would still happen. But I think that we wouldn't have arguably tens of millions or hundreds of millions of dollars, maybe billions at this point. I think it's billions, laundered into the Trump administration exclusively so he can reward the people who are helping him do the money laundering.
Do you think that we would?
I think that would have changed any of the? Do you think that would have black eye to the presidency of the United States? It's borderline horrific that it wasn't prohibited prior to his presidency.
Do you think that it would have changed any of the ICE behavior?
No.
Do you think it would have changed the invasion of Iran or Venezuela?
Maybe.
I don't think. Okay, I don't.
Maybe a lot of the donations are coming from the Gulf states.
Do you think that we invaded Venezuela or we invaded Iran because Saudi Arabians are buying crypto from the Trump Foundation?
No, but I think the Saudis, the Qataris, and the Omanis, and the Israelis, they might have said, hey, we gave you billions of dollars. Iran's a pain in the ass. Can you kick Iran's ass for us?
Yeah, but they don't need crypto to do that, right?
Slay the Spire soon? Probably not soon. Until Slay the Spire 2 comes out, maybe.
Qatar literally gave him a fucking $500 million
a new run,
like, they
at
need crypto
least.
to do any of that.
That's actually good.
Sure, but that should also be prohibited, right?
Yeah, but like...
Foreign nations should be prohibited from gifting hundreds of billions of dollars worth of shit to the president of the United States in consideration for geopolitical or trade considerations.
Similarly access?
Sure. So...
Okay, I'm done with this fucking counterpoints conversation. Fuck this shit.